Good evening. I call the regular city council meeting of October 1st, 2024 to order. Please stand. And please bow your heads for a moment of silence for the victims in the southeast over Hurricane Helene. Thank you. Council Walker, you lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilor Credo.
Present.
Councilor Deja is excused. Councilor Horn.
Yes.
Councilor Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Councilor Fontenot.
Present.
Councilor Herman.
Present.
Councilor Carolian.
Present.
Councilor Richardson.
Present.
Councilor Sullivan.
He's excused.
Councilor Turner.
Present.
Councilor Walker.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Hammond.
Present.
Mayor Callahan.
Present. Thank you. Special City Council meeting, August 20th, 2024. Consideration of those special minutes for adoption.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes carry. 5.2, regular City Council meeting, September 3rd, 2024. Consideration for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. 6, communications from the city manager.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have quite a few updates this evening, so my report will be a little bit lengthier than usual. I returned from my conference recently, so I have a couple items to report out on in addition to the usual types of updates.
He's got stuff.
I've got stuff, that's right. First item is that the Department of Public Works will be installing new stair treads on the front and side entrances of City Hall this week. During this time, the staircases will be closed while work is performed. The front staircase will be out of order this Thursday, October 3rd, and the side staircase, which is facing the police department, will be out of order this Friday. The rear elevator and handicap entrance will remain open throughout this process, and signage will be in place to direct foot traffic to alternate doorways during the closures. There will additionally be airflow measures in place in the event of any potential odors during the application process. So you'll see signage out there, and it will be short work, but we're trying to get the word out to folks that the elevator entrance will be accessible all the time. Next item, another Public Works update, is that on Monday, October 7th and Tuesday, October 8th, the Department of Public Works has scheduled pavement milling and overlaying of North Main Street, so long as weather permits. North Atlantic Excavation will be performing the work on North Main Street between Union Street and Wakefield Street. Temporary traffic control measures will be in place, including a lane closure around the work zone and a lane shift to allow through traffic. Motorists are encouraged to use caution when traveling through the area and seek alternative routes whenever possible. For general inquiries, please contact the Department of Public Works at 332-4096. Next is that this Friday, the Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce is presenting the State of the City Breakfast Forum from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. The State of the City Forum provides an opportunity for attendees to hear important updates directly from our local leaders. The event will be hosted by Frisbee Memorial Hospital at the Frisbee Community Education and Conference Center at 11 Whitehall Road. The breakfast forum is open to both the chamber members and the public, and the cost to attend, because of the cost of the breakfast, is $25. For more information or to make a reservation, you can visit the Chamber's website at rochesternh.org or call the Chamber office at 603-332-5080. For those unable to attend, the event will be recorded and broadcast on GovTV. More information on how to watch can be found at rochesternh.gov/GovTV. Something new this year is that instead of a panel discussion with department heads at the forum, our media services team created a video series highlighting several municipal departments leading up to the event. This series is designed to complement the forum and give attendees a deeper understanding of recent projects and local government operations. The videos are live now and can be watched under the Video on Demand section of the city's website. I would like to thank Matt Wyatt and Celeste Playa, who put in extensive work to develop this video series, and all of the city staff who participated. They all did an excellent job, and I encourage you to view the series online now. The next item is that I recently attended the International City and County Management Association's annual conference and participated in some very valuable sessions. Some of the subjects that I was immersed in included employee recruitment and retention, artificial intelligence, crossing the generational divide in our community, cultivating tomorrow's leaders in local government, strategies for securing federal funding, and strengthening communities through supporting aging populations. It's too much for me to report out on in one city manager's report, so I will integrate some updates periodically. And I wanted to start tonight with some key takeaways on artificial intelligence, which is that artificial intelligence is a tool. It's not an end-all be-all in terms of a solution that can just eradicate human components in our work. And it's ever evolving. And we need to be proactive about our approach as an organization in encountering and utilizing this tool, especially as software and technology that we are already using integrates this into our platforms. We need to also identify how we set our parameters in terms of risk, security, and ethics with artificial intelligence. This is a subject that Deputy CAO Conley and CAO Watkins have been working on already in preparation for developing a policy for the city. And my sessions reiterated that we need to take a look at our readiness as an organization and be proactive in establishing a policy for this technology, which should be specific enough to outline guardrails, but be broad enough to accommodate rapid changes in the technology so that we're not constantly having to update given changes in specific names and software or what have you. So it needs to be adaptive, but specific enough for risk management purposes and for guidance for employees. You can expect more information on this as we endeavor to create new policies and procedures moving forward. So this is just a taste, but wanted to report out on that this will be coming forward in the future. And finally, you will recall that there was a CIP project in this year's budget to relocate the city clerk's office to the first floor of the community center. And I wanted to share that construction is scheduled to start this week on some demolition and framing on the project. And the project is currently scheduled for completion by the end of December. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Under the mayor's report, I'm going to yield to the deputy mayor, who has a proclamation he's going to read. That is Children's Environment Health.
Whereas the aim of Children's Environmental Health Day is to raise awareness about the importance of clean air and water, safe food and consumer products, healthy environments, and stable climates to children's health and development. And whereas CEH Day was created by the Children's Environmental Health Network and celebrated for the first time on October 13th, 2016. And whereas CEH Day is observed on the second Thursday in October as a means to celebrate the progress of the children's environmental health movement and create a strong network of child health advocates. And whereas CEH Day is a national effort supported by individuals, nonprofit organizations, and government agencies. And whereas CEH Day encourages individuals and organizations to raise awareness and understanding of children's environmental health issues, seek improved protections for all children, and perform acts of sustainability or environmental health, wellness, and whereas together we can safeguard the health, safety, and well-being of our most precious resource, children. Therefore, I, Paul Callahan, Mayor of the City of Rochester, do hereby proclaim Thursday, October 10th, 2024, as Children's Environmental Health Day in Rochester, and urge all citizens to observe this day with awareness raising and environmental health and stewardship activities to create a healthier environment for our children. In witness thereof, I have hitherto set my hand and have caused the Great Seal of the City of Rochester to be affixed on this 10th day of October in the year of our Lord, 2024.
Thank you. The announcement is trick or treat is October 30th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. it'll be rain or shine. And we need to actually vote on this. The regular city council meeting for November is going to be postponed from November 5th, 2024, which is the general election, to the regular city council meeting to November 12th, 2024. So I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes carry. There's no presentations, no nominations, appointments. Councilor Walker, appointments, do you want to take all three or one, each one?
Appointments?
Yes.
All right.
These are elections.
These are under nominations, appointment, and resignations. We have a appointment for Kendra Finch, Ward Clerk, Ward 5, term to expire 1/2/26.
Yes. Go ahead. I nominate Ms. Finch.
I make a motion that the nomination cease and the city clerk cast one ballot for Kendra Finch.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes carry.
Next appointment is Monica Ciros for Selectman, Ward 1, term to expire 1/2/26. You approve, sir.
I accept the nomination of Monica Series, Ward 1, Selectman.
So I make a motion that all nominations cease and the city clerk cast one ballot for Monica Ciros for Selectman of Ward 1.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes carry.
Next appointment would be Sarah Cantrell, Selectman, Ward 1, term to expire 1/2/28.
I accept the nomination of Sarah Cantrell, Selectman of Ward 1, term to expire 1/2/2028.
I make a motion that all nominations cease and the city clerk cast one ballot for Sarah Cantrell for Selectman in Ward 1.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes carry. Okay, new appointment.
Appointments. We met on September 24th, and we only have one, and we reviewed the application of Rhiannon Jeffrey for Recreation Advisory Commission, seat E, term to expire 1/2/27, and we recommend her unanimously to the council.
And I recommend Ree Jaffrey for the Recreation and Arena Commission, seat E, term to expire 1/2/2027.
Make a motion that all nominations cease and the city clerk cast one ballot for Rhiannon Jeffrey.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes carry. Okay,
And that's all we have.
thank you very much. Okay, nothing to vote on. Any other few unfinished business? 11.1, amendment to Chapter 275 of the General Ordinances of the City of Rochester regarding pork chop subdivisions as presented at the 17th, 2024 public hearing. And I believe, Deputy Mayor, you have an amendment that came from the,
I make a motion to approve first.
yes.
Second.
And I have an amendment. I move to amend the amendment to include all proposed changes presented at the September 17th, 2024 public hearing, and to amend the amendment by adding the word shared before private access in the middle of subsection 12.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. Hearing that, all those in, actually, we have to vote on the actual amendment.
On the
right?
amendment
You're
first.
voting on the amended amendment.
That's right.
Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the amendment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes carry. Now, we need a motion to accept.
Motion as amendment. We already have a
Yes.
motion on the floor.
We need to
Second.
vote again.
Yes.
Second.
Yeah.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes carry. Thank you. Okay, consent calendar, new business. Resolution authorizing the application for the State of New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services Critical Flood Risk Infrastructure Grant Program for Gonick Dam, Gonick Sawmill Dam Project in the amount of up to $1.33 million of supplemental appropriation in connection therewith, and city manager authority to execute necessary documents regarding the grant and any extensions connected thereto. Now, you may have heard, just a quick comment for the public and for the city councilors here. When we have a supplemental appropriation, it's not always, we're not always spending cash, it's for grants too. Sometimes you hear folks get up there and say, you've had too many supplemental appropriations. This is 1.33 million we're actually getting. Okay.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes carry. Resolution authorizing acceptance of the New Hampshire Business and Economic Affairs Department, BEA, Invest New Hampshire Program Grant in the amount of $203,985 in connection with the Gaffney Home Demolition Project and supplemental appropriation in connection therewith.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes carry. 13.3, resolution authorizing acceptance of 2 New Hampshire BEA municipal per unit grants in the amount of $730,000 and supplemental appropriation in connection therewith.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Just a quick comment on that. In the past few months, we received over $1 million in Invest New Hampshire funds. 13.4, resolution authorizing acceptance of the State of New Hampshire Highway Safety Grant enforcement in the amount of $8,200.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes carry. 13.5, resolution pursuant to RSA 677:2, authorizing the legal department to file motions for rehearing.
Motion to adopt.
Second. Discussion.
Discussion. Go ahead, Counselor Walker.
I'm not real comfortable with how council admonishing the ZBA. I think we need to have a talk with them about following the ordinance, but I don't want a formal council resolution.
Sure, I can respond to that.
Well,
You have
second-
some more? Go ahead.
Secondly, I'm also not comfortable with the fairground situation that we have. I think that the perception out there is that the council's at war with the fairgrounds, and I think that needs to change. So I think we should vote no on this and then send to codes and ordinances a zoning change of the fairgrounds to either the plot itself or give it an overlay so they can, with criteria on what they can do and not do in their events. They're asking to do events that they've done historically. So with the way the zoning is now, in order to do anything, they have to go before the ZBA for a variance. And as you know, variances are hard to get. And I just would like to stop this perception that we're constantly saying no and constantly in court and constantly in battle with them. So that's why I'm going to vote no on that. And I'd like a roll call vote for this, please.
There's 2 other
Yeah, I understand.
Issues
I
on
understand.
there. To answer your first question, the ZBA, we have met with the chair of the ZBA, and he 100% supports the city council going forward with a vote to have them rehear it. The reason being is he knows it was wrong, the way they did it. It has nothing to do with the fairgrounds or the other projects. I think we're kind of mixing things up there. It has to do with following the law. There's a law in place that says you have to make these decisions based on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Our city ordinance says you have to make these decisions based on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, the ZBA chair made it clear to us, it's probably not going to change their opinion, but he does want to nip it in the bud and moving forward. Now, we've heard this before, too, is why you're doing it because it's the fair. No, we're doing it because we have a new planning director who identified this last month and asked for it to be corrected, and it wasn't corrected. And that's why we're here. It has nothing to do with opposing whatever the fair wants to do. It has to do with following the law. Councilor Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to support this. As you were saying, this has nothing to, this isn't about the outcome of the ZBA. It's about the process. It's about our own ordinance. And if we're not going to follow our own ordinance, we should change it. But as of today, we would follow our ordinance, and we would expect our boards and our commissions to follow the ordinance also.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Councilor Fontenot.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I agree with Councilor Walker on the positions that he stated. I also agree with Councilor Fitzpatrick that we need to enforce our ordinances, and if they need to be changed, change them. I think Councilor Walker alluded to that as well. I think we've received maybe some new information tonight that we didn't have a chance to hear in the past and discuss. And based on that, I would be interested in making a motion to table this item so that we can all be enlightened as to what the ZBA intends to do or how they intend to change their actions. I can't support this motion as written tonight because I think we're taking a backward step, and I would like to see us, rather than that, move forward on correcting ordinances and following rules in the future. So,
Your Honor,
Yes.
just a point of order.
Yes.
The correct motion is to postpone to a future meeting.
But I'll turn it over to the city attorney, but I think it has to be made within 30 days. And this is not just a city ordinance, this is state law. They're supposed to follow 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We can't change a state law. They're still gonna have to follow it.
Right. That's what I was going to say, Mr. Mayor, is this has to be done within 30 days. So by tabling it, you would effectively be signing off on the actions that they took. And same with the mayor talked about earlier, the ZBA chair had been in discussion with the plan director. Again, he realized the mistake they made, and he had asked me and the mayor to come in to you guys tonight and ask you to approve this resolution. They want to redo it, get it right procedurally. And again, I think the mayor said the ultimate outcome here may end up being the same when they go through the 5 criteria, but we've got to follow the law. And again, as the mayor said, it's not just our local law. There's 2 state laws on point here. RSA 676.3, decision shall include specific written findings of fact to support the decision. We had no findings of fact made in any of these 3 cases. RSA 674.33, the board shall use one voting method consistently for all applications until it changes. So they haven't been doing that, and they certainly didn't do it that night. So one of my great concerns here is on one of these applications, we've now had 2 residents file motions for rehearing as well. If these go in the direction they've been going and we don't correct the process we're using, if they were to appeal these cases to the Superior Court, they would win. Let's be frank, they would win. They're indefensible. I ethically could not defend what they did. They broke the law. I cannot and will not defend illegal actions. So what would then happen is they would get their attorney's fees and costs for bringing this to court, because not only does the ZBA know what they did was illegal, this body here knew what they did was illegal and then chose not to act. So that's my concern here is let's protect the record, let's protect the process. The ultimate outcome is not for this board tonight. It's simply a motion to rehear based on the reasons I put in the agenda for not following those rules. I did not put anything in there about the substance of the application. It is simply on those 3 applications, they didn't follow the 5 criteria.
Question.
You mentioned that you got 2 residents requested rehearings anyway?
We did. We received for application Z2434. We received one. It's either Friday or Monday, and then we received one this afternoon for that same application.
Which 2 were those?
That is application Z24-34. That was the horses in a R1 neighborhood.
And the other one is the wood furnace.
And then the other one is the wood burning stove in an R2 neighborhood. So again, this is a situation where all 3 of these variances had the same exact problems with them. So.
Well, in that case, they're going to be those 2 are going to be reheared, right?
Well, there's a motion for rehearing. The ZBA still has to approve.
I understand. But now if we've spoken to them and they're going to follow the process.
No, it's just one. Both are in one. Z2434, that's the horse and the R1. We haven't received any for the other 2 yet.
I thought you said you had
2 for the same one, 2
Oh, I
for Z2434. So.
Go ahead.
Thank you for the information. I think the issue that I have, I think is the issue that many have, is that, if by voting no on this, we are affirming, or if by not taking action on this within 30 days, we are affirming what the ZBA has approved, then that would stand the same for every other action that they have taken, for months back. It means we have affirmed every other incorrect action that we've heard they've been doing for a couple of years, and yet we have taken no action on any of those cases. This one is coming down to a simple case of perception. And I learned a long time ago that whether we like it or not, perception is reality. And the perception in this case is that the city is specifying this meeting on this night because of one of the applications. And whether that's true or not, it's the perception that's out there. And so because of that, I can't vote in favor of this. I will strongly vote in favor of any moves to change the zoning, to appropriately address those situations, to have a meeting with the ZBA to appropriately address the actions that they are taking. But I cannot support this motion on this evening. Therefore, I would reiterate my motion to postpone to a future date.
Again,
Anyone wants to second?
I just want to state that timing, this is an issue of timing. It's not an issue of picking on the fair. The issue is timing. Is our prior planning director left. We hired a new planning director who started September 1st. Immediately noticed this, brought it to the attention, and it's being addressed. We need to nip this in the bud. It has nothing to do with the fairgrounds. It really doesn't.
Mayor,
Yes.
I was going door-to-door campaigning last weekend. I had 3 constituents ask me, what are we doing with the fairgrounds? Why is the city being an obstruction for the fairgrounds to do stuff they've already did in the past? And I really didn't have an answer for them. So that's why I'm going to vote the way I'm going to vote tonight.
Any more discussion? Councilor Herman.
Yes, I would like to know from our city attorney the stated hardship condition for the fairgrounds. Do you agree with that hardship, that they met criteria for a hardship?
I don't, so they didn't really do the application properly. So they didn't go through the 5 criteria and lay out what the findings of fact should be. So that's another problem with these applications. I'm sorry. Another problem with these applications are they didn't even make suggested findings of fact. This is for all 3. So none of them actually really filled out their applications correctly. And the burden was on all 3 of these applicants to prove those 5 elements, and the 3 of them across the board failed.
Go ahead, Councilor
It seems to me, Your Honor, if the applications were not filled out correctly to begin with, then it would have been a staff, planning staff situation that they would have sent the application back to the applicant and said, it's not filled out properly, and it never would have made it in front of the ZBA, and we wouldn't be in this situation.
Right, the planning director's not here to explain that, but that's what he said going forward he's going to do, is he's going to put his own eye on it. So if it's not ready, it's not going in front of the ZBA. Again, it just boils down to following the law. We've all taken an oath that we're going to follow state, federal, and city ordinance laws. You got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The state says you have to do 1, 2, 3, and 5. 4 and 5 that our city ordinance says. It has nothing to do with the decision. You want to nip it in the bud because our new planning director noticed it this month. Any more discussion? Yes, Councilor Hammond.
I can't see how anybody can vote no on this, to be honest, because we know that the law has been broken, hasn't been followed properly, how can we just throw a blind eye to it? We're here to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, I, for one, have not been following the zoning board for, and their motions and how they run things. I don't go look at them. I know some people do. I do not. So I did not have an opinion or an upfront insight into how the zoning board was being run. However, being brought to my attention that, no, they did not follow procedure, they did not follow our city ordinance, they did not follow state law. I don't see how this body can just throw a blind eye to that. I don't see how we have a choice but to vote yes. My opinion.
Counselor Carolian.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've talked to a lot of people about this. I was a bit split on the issue because I understand it's a sensitive, the perception is of sensitive nature. And I think at the end of the day, as a city councilor, I have to vote on the issue directly at hand without too much narrative other than what the situation is. And it sounds like it was a procedural error that needs to be corrected. And based on that, I am planning on voting yes tonight.
Counselor Credo.
Yes, I have a question for Terrence O'Rourke. We were told that this had been an ongoing issue for between 2 to 3 years. Was that accurate?
After speaking with the ZBA chairman, I don't think it was as long as we thought it was, but it is of a recent vintage. And in fact, the meeting prior to this one, they had granted a motion for rehearing because they had failed to do the 5 criteria vote. And then when it came back for a rehearing, or excuse me, for another public hearing on September 11th on that very application, they again failed to vote on the 5 criteria. So they were aware of it, they understood it, but I think maybe, and again, as the mayor is emphasizing here, we have a new planning director, and
I understand
this is
that.
his first time eyes on. So again, speaking with the ZBA chair, he gets it, he understands they messed up. He wants to correct it. He wants to do it right going forward. He had been on the the ZBA before where they had been doing it right since the council changed the law in 2017. And again, without casting aspersions on anybody, essentially what he said, that it just kind of it fell off.
So we were told that this had been an ongoing issue for 2 to 3 years 2 weeks ago. Are you saying that that's inaccurate, that we were told?
It's multiple years, but maybe 3 is strong, but again, I didn't investigate it that heavily.
Okay. So if we've known that this has been an issue for a decent amount of time, to say the very least, from the information that you've supplied, why would we choose to do it now? And are we responsible for all those decisions over the past years?
So we've had other motions for rehearing granted by them over the course of time. Again, like Councilor Heyman, Deputy Mayor Heyman says, like, we all don't watch the ZBA hearings every week. We don't know what we don't know. And unless the planning director, zoning administrator brings it to us, we don't know. And the previous zoning minister hadn't been bringing these to us. So we didn't know what we didn't know, best way to put it. But there were cases where the previous administrator had come to me on a case where a citizen had filed for motion rehearing. I looked at it and said, yeah, they messed this up. They got to rehear this.
So I guess getting back to my question, are we responsible for all what could be looked at, this is not a quote for you, but bad decisions from past CBAs? Are we as a council also responsible for those as we may be for this one?
Well, you didn't know about them, so I don't know how you'd be responsible for them. I mean, the ZBA ultimately, at the end of the day, is responsible for their own actions, except that the law gives you guys the opportunity to have them take a second look at things, and that's the opportunity you have here tonight. And again, an opportunity that the ZBA chairman is welcoming.
Counselor Walker, thank you.
Another question for council. Who can ask for a rehearing?
So,
That's a good question.
the applicant themselves, obviously, if it's disapproved or they don't get the full relief they sought, and a butter or the governing body. Those are the 3.
And the ZBA?
No,
rehear
that's what they wanted to do.
They wanted to
can't do
that,
it.
and they couldn't. It was no provision of law, and perhaps that evening, had they caught it, they could have done a reconsideration under Robert's rules, but they didn't.
Well,
So
per Robert's rules, a motion reconsideration, they can do it at their next meeting.
that wouldn't apply because then the state law trumps your Robert's rules. So I think once that meeting ended, there was nothing they could do about it except get a rehearing filed or motion to rehear filed. Because state law has no provision for it.
Carolian, Counselor Carolian.
This question goes out to the council. If there's a situation with a committee or not following procedure, I would like to think that we pursue a course of action of correction and, some leadership type moves. Or is this before the council because specifically laws were broken? Is that correct?
That is, they completely, obviously didn't follow the law, state and local law. And particularly that night, I happened to be there, and it's another issue. And after they failed to follow the law on the first application, the horse and the R1, I told them specifically,
No, I
have to-
watched the meeting
have to
and,
follow the law. So they were very, very much on notice at that point, and they blew through 2 more applications after that,
so it was a procedural error, but because it just seemed like the nuclear option to me to have to bring before the council, but now I understand. And again, this seems like a procedural type issue that needs to be corrected.
Yeah, if I just want to add one more thing. Look at it this way, put yourself in the position of the new planning director. But we won't use the planning director, we use the police chief. The new police chief comes in and rots from the outside, looks at the city policies, the police policies, says, wow, we can't do that, it's breaking the law. Wants to amend the policies, and the police commissioner says, no, even though we're violating the law, we still want to do it. That's what you're kind of being asked to do today. Councilor Horn.
I'd like to second Councilor Fontenot's.
What's that now?
Motion to table it to a time certain.
My
Motion
my
to
motion
postpone,
was to
right?
postpone
Postpone.
to a
That you want a motion to
future
postpone?
time.
You got to name a time where you're postponing it to.
To the council's November regular meeting. And if I could, I'll speak to that motion.
Go ahead.
And the reason that I would like to postpone to that time is because, again, we've heard a bunch of information this evening that none of us were privy to 15 minutes ago. And I don't think it's fair to ask this council to make a vote on those assertions without being able to do any research on that information. And I think that if we postpone this until the council's November meeting, it will give each one of us, it will give the opportunity for abutters to those parcels to appeal for rehearing if they so choose to, and it will give us an opportunity to hear from the ZBA chair, if that is his prerogative, to ascertain his mistakes and his wish for us to go forward with this. I didn't get any call or information from the ZBA chair asking me to vote one way or the other on this particular item. So that was my motion, and Councilor Horn as seconded.
Roll call.
Roll call vote.
Counselor Turner.
Yes.
Counselor Richardson.
Yes.
Counselor Carulian.
Yes.
Counselor Fitzpatrick.
No.
Counselor Hammond.
No.
Counselor Horn.
No.
Counselor Herman.
No.
Counselor Credo.
Yes.
Counselor Fontenot.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Mayor Callahan.
No.
7-4.
So it goes on November 12th?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I have to, it can't go on.
It can't because it's
November.
over the 30 days, so effectively it was killed.
It would be invalid at that point, so.
Yeah. Effectively it was killed. Okay. Oh, I got to read this one. Hold on a second. Resolution establishing polling places and times for the November 5th, 2024 presidential election. Motion to read a resolution as a tidy. I need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye?
You need
Aye.
2/3?
Yeah.
It's 2:30.
We're going to do it by this. It's going to be, all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Opposed? We got it. You all set, Councilor Walker? Okay. All right, now I'm going to read in whole. Resolution establish polling places and times for the November 5th, 2024 presidential election. Be it resolved by the mayor and the city council of the city of Rochester that the following polling places are hereby established for the city of Rochester for the upcoming November 5th, 2024 presidential election. Ward 1, East Rochester Elementary School, 773 Portland Street, East Rochester. Ward 2, Chamberlain Street School, 85 Chamberlain Street, Rochester. Ward 3, Gonick Elementary School, 10 Railroad Ave, Gonick. Ward 4, McCullen Elementary School, 59 Brock Street, Rochester. Excuse me. Ward 5, James W. Foley Memorial Community Center, also known as the Rochester Community Center, 150 Wakefield Street, Community Way, Rochester, entrance B. Ward 6, Elks Lodge, 1383, 295 Columbus Ave, Rochester. Further, that in accordance with RSA 659-4 and Section 49 of the City Charter, all polling places shall be open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. on said election day. Please note the processing for absentee ballots shall begin at 10 a.m. on the election day. All right, thank you. Do we vote on that now?
Move to adopt.
Move to adopt.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes carry. Now we need a motion to go into,
Motion to go into non-public session to discuss land per RSA 91A32D.
D. D as in dog.
D as in
Okay,
dog.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Counselor Turner.
Yes.
Counselor Hammond.
Yes.
Counselor Richardson.
Yes.
Counselor Fontenot.
Yes.
Counselor Carolian.
Yes.
Counselor Credo.
Yes.
Counselor Herman.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Horn. Yes. Mayor Callahan.
Yes. Okay. Non-public?
Make a motion that we come out of non-public and seal the minutes indefinitely because of the disclosure of which would make the transaction moot.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes carry.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion adjourned. Thank you.